Today we're going to take a look at the core muscles, and we talk about core, most of the time we're referring to abs. So your rectus abdominis muscles, those muscles stabilize us. They also flex our trunk. And then our external obliques, which bend us side to side and help us twist. Also, I'd like to throw in hip flexors, because anytime we're doing knee raises or sit-ups, we're going to get the hip flexors, and the hip flexors are very important for a lot of athletic moves, including getting faster, to have better hip flexor strength. So first thing I want to say really quick is that you can't spot reduce fat. So there's not any exercise you can do that will spot reduce fat off your abs. That is a combination of eating healthier, which means you'll consume less calories, burning more overall calories by overall exercise, and also by putting more muscle mass on, which speeds up our metabolism. So those three things in combination will do that. Now, every exercise that I'm going to show you here will help those muscles get stronger, and if you're already lean, it will help them pop out more. But the idea of having a six-pack or being ripped has a lot to do with what we're consuming in our diet as well. So I'm going to take you through here and show you all these exercises that will work. So I'm going to show you, let's look first. All right, so we're going to look at some knee raises and knee ins first, which I show you those first because they're kind of hard, so you don't want to do them after you've done planks or crunches or anything like that. So this is just one way you can do a knee raise. I'm going to use the handles up here and do them. There's a machine in the corner that we can do without having to hang on. But we want to pull our knees up. 1, 2, 3. Moving all the way up to whatever you can do, 10. But we're trying to raise our knees up higher than our waist if we can, because the higher we get them up, the more we're going to activate our core muscles, okay? All right, knee ins. This is one of my favorites. You can do these several places in the room. All right, feet go in the stirrups. Once you get used to it, it's not that hard to get your feet in there. All right. First move, 100% core, plank. So you have to be able to do this before you can do a knee in. So we want to be able to plank, and sometimes the best thing to do is just practice in this position. After you can hold a good plank, pull those knees in as far as you can. You can also do them twisting like that. All right, so those are knee ins, knee raises. Just demonstrated the basic part of a plank. This is a high plank position. It's usually a little easier on your core. The low plank position is on your forearms. And the really important thing is to not let your core slump. This is not a plank. You have to keep your belly button tucked in. You can hold those for really anywhere between 15 seconds to 2 minutes, depending upon your strength level. Side planks. Forearm on the ground, on your side, pop up. Same deal. We're trying to work the external obliques, also our rib cage muscles here. If you want to make it a little easier, spread your feet. Use your other hand for support. So, look just like that. The harder version is there. Okay, really good exercise to strengthen up those obliques. Really important for any type of swinging sport. All right. Sit-ups, crunches, about as old as exercise gets, okay? Sit-ups were what everybody did. Then, in the 80s and 90s, people started doing crunches. So we know what a sit-up is. We come all the way up. Want to make it, you can have somebody hold your feet, which will work your hip flexors more. Coming up with the weight, just a little something extra if you want to. Crunches are a really, really short movement. So instead of coming all the way up, all a crunch is to flex the core, flatten out your lower back. Shoulders come up, squeeze, just like that. Not near as common as they used to be. A lot of people now are doing planking movements, stabilizing movements instead of crunching movements or sit-up movements. All right, moving on. We're getting close to being done. All right, speaking of stabilizing movements, the next few are all basically stabilizers. Anti-rotation presses. Grown to really like these. As a strength and conditioning coach, they're great for athletes. So you're going to do them on both sides. So I'm going to start out with this in my left hand. So I'll work my left side first. So I'm going to pull this in. I'm going to have my right leg forward, left leg back. Pull it to the center of the body. Now I'm going to press out straight, and I'm going to not let this rotate me. That's the anti-rotation press. Okay? Then we got to flip and do the other side. Put it in the right hand, left leg forward. That makes you more unstable. Pull. And do not let it rotate you. Okay? So there's different variations of that, but that's a good basic one. The last one is very simple. Is a single arm farmer walk. Now when I'm working with big groups, we do them in place. So instead of walking up and down the hall, which you can do for sure, you can use a kettlebell, a dumbbell, a sandbag. You're going to have something in one side. So when I do this, I have to tighten up these muscles, my external obliques and my rib cage muscles, in order to keep myself upright. But when we do them in place, we do a marching movement and just count those marches. Then we switch and do them that way. That way we get both sides. The instability of raising your feet up and down by either walking or marching in place is what really makes the core work hard. And I know they look very simple, but if you try them and you challenge yourself with some good weight, they will definitely do the trick. All right, that's a lot of exercise in a short amount of time. We will start to talk about nutrition, which for those of y'all that are wanting to get ripped, that is a big deal. So we'll continue this conversation here in the coming weeks.